Hello and welcome back to this Divine Partnership Coaching video. This is going to be part 2 of the how to get communication from your DM in writing about it. And like write what you want. And I apologize for the daytime difference and the length of time getting this part 2. I need to do like a total dump on my phone because I like to take screenshots of synchronicities and save a lot of memes and quotes and things like that, and it's getting a little overfull. In any case, what I was talking about in the last half of it was recognizing that as twins, we always reflect each other. And this is something that a friend and one of my soul sisters helped me with, that in the beginning, I put myself on a pedestal, and I looked at it like I was the one that was initiating everything, and I was the one that was creating everything, and I was the one that was wanting everything, and I really did not see the reflection. And one of the things that really showed me that it was a twin flame situation was that when I stopped and I looked at everything, I went, wow, we really do reflect each other. I mean, we get mad about the same things. We're often happy about the same things. Now, we're also polar opposites, which is also a common thing in twin flames. And we have not a significant age difference, but still, it's more than your average age difference. And those are also key elements in there. But we reflect each other. We reflect each other, and it's like we're in the same energy, even if we're doing something that's like slightly different, or to the opposite. Like, a lot of times he'll be the moon to my sun, or I'll be the sun to his moon. Like, but we both rise, we both set, we both burn, we both illuminate. Like, I'll have to go into that into more things. But I recognize that in most situations, if I want it, it's likely that he wants it too. And if I'm thinking about it, he's usually thinking about it too. And if I don't want to do something, he probably doesn't want to do it either. And I started kind of playing with that and looking for it, because I'm a natural skeptic in a lot of ways. I'm not so much anymore, because I've learned, and something I'll talk about more often, it's embracing the absurd, but also that life it's beautiful bullshit. It really is. All of it is. And you choose what it is that you're going to believe. And I really like the way that I've been following things, and I'm much less skeptical and much more trusting of my own intuition. And I've had just enough proof and enough confirmations in 3D that I don't need them anymore. And I know that this is reality for me in this dimension. And I'm comfortable with that. I don't need anybody to validate it. I don't even need him to validate it. And the irony, he often does without even realizing it. But when I realized that I was going in a codependent direction and focusing on feeling like I was doing everything. I was doing the rescuing. I was doing the saving. I was doing the work. I was doing the wanting. And a lot of that was about my self-worth issues. And I was not in a place where I felt like I could even write on a piece of paper, I want this. Like, it was that bad. I could not write down, I want this. I felt like it would have some negative effect on things. I also did not really understand how karmic entanglements work, or karmic lessons, or things like that. And I still held a lot of resentments towards the karmics in his life, but I also still wanted to feel moral and acceptable, and like I wasn't energetically affecting their relationship. But that's also where I found, like, why I say it's like weird. It's like right in future present tense, right? Because you want to feel like you have it right now. But you also, at least for me, I didn't want to feel like I was affecting the dynamics that he had going on right now. The lessons that my DM needs to learn with any of his karmics, not just people, but with work, with thoughts, with things like that. Spirit knows exactly what he needs to learn and how he needs to learn it. And because of free will, he also has a great amount of control, although he'll deny it still sometimes, but he has a great amount of control and effect on how that happens and how that comes to him. And when you deal with codependency, you also have to look at, there's factors in there where both of you are dealing with issues of control. You have to release control. You have to recognize that even if it's not the way that would be best for you, or even if you know them really, really well. I mean, I've known the man like 19 years. I know him very, very well. I just went through an old love note that I found where he talked about how well I know him and how much he appreciates that. I could definitely cultivate an immersive experience that would help him get everywhere he needs to go. However, got a lot of Aries placements. He's very stubborn, and he needs to learn to stand on his own. I do not want to affect that. It's funny, it's not that I cannot affect that. I don't want to affect that. I also, for my own nature, I don't want the blame. We had a lot of blame game stuff going on when we were together, both of us doing it, and that really ate away at me, to be blamed for things that for messes I wasn't making. And so this time is very nice because I can work on me, and the more I focus on my own business, and I don't spend time trying to figure out how to help him or allow my ego to say that I need to take something out on him or tell him all this stuff. Like, the less I do that, the more he is kind of forced to see that I have nothing to do with what's going on in his life right now. And while it's not horrible, it's also not very good either. He's in a much worse position than he was with me, and that was with us both just kind of staying afloat, like, you know, holding on to the floaty tools, much like Jack and Rose from the Titanic, right? Although I pulled him onto the boat and we both had our feet in the water freezing and getting frostbite on it, kind of thing. But we were barely floating. Like, we weren't drowning, we weren't going down, we were slowly going up. But it wasn't going there, and a lot of that was because of pain cycles and karmic lessons that needed to be learned. So this time is great, especially because I was big about preaching a lot of stuff and not practicing it, and that made it even more difficult for him to trust me, even because I'm sitting there focusing on him and doing all that and not working on my own stuff. And so it's nice to be able to sit and look at, like, doing journaling like this and doing like dialogue and interactions as if I'm writing it in a story, and thinking about it in a future tense, as in, like, when the time is divine. When the time is divine, which could be tomorrow, or it could be next year, it could be 10 years from now. I'm comfortable with that now. That freaked me out in the beginning. I guarantee you that freaked me out, but it doesn't anymore. I'm comfortable with it. I can enjoy my time in the middle. There's all sorts of mischief that I can get into and manage and have fun and do things on my own. So I'm not worried about the time in the middle. And actually, I know that the longer the waiting, so to speak, because you got to get out of waiting energy, but the longer the time and space in between, the stronger the healing, and the more likely it is that you're going to, when they are ready, when the time is divine and spirit says, yeah, okay, you guys are in a healed enough path to meet at the crossroads again, it's going to be way better than you expect. So don't get down on yourself if it goes longer, you know? But when you write in the sense of you're thinking about beyond the rebounds, beyond the karmic relationships, beyond workaholicism, or beyond alcoholism, beyond things like that, when you write about it in that sense, you're no longer manifesting, or you're no longer holding them in place as to who they were.